Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know me, I am the Mark of the Masses, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some WWE Money in the Bank 2014 today. Now, we jumped right into the pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen, with a pre-show. We have Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan comes to the ring and he basically says that his arm, the arm that is damaged, still has not gained the strength that he needs to proceed, and he may need to go into surgery once again. Well, Daniel Bryan is interrupted by the man I believe in. Bo Dallas comes to the ring and he cuts actually a really funny promo encouraging Daniel Bryan to believe, and Daniel Bryan basically says he's acting like a boner and he should leave the ring. So it was actually a very good segment, pre-show to start off the night. We're going to jump right into the WWE Tag Team titles. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay versus Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. I'll quickly jump into the match and then give you my opinion on the match. Now, I got to be honest with you. First and foremost, Luke Harper is an athletic freak. He is a giant man with amazing physical attributes, and the guy, during the match, he actually hit a very beautiful athletic looking drop kick. It was a lot of good back and forth between both teams. There was a huge spot where Eric Rowan is on the top rope and both Usos give him a superplex off the top rope, dropping him down into the mat. Really awesome. And again, amazing athletic ability by Eric Rowan with the double suicide dives, he went through the rope not once but twice, hitting each Jimmy and Jay Uso with a suicide dive between the ropes. How does a guy that size get between the ropes so easily? Really awesome. Now, the end of the match, both Usos actually jump off the top rope with the flying Samoan splash. Jimmy, then Jay, they pin Eric Rowan for the 1, 2, 3, and the Usos retain the belt. It was a decent match. Wasn't anything great. The superstar of this match was Luke Harper. Eric Rowan, not Luke Harper. Eric Rowan is like a hybrid of Bruiser Brody and Rey Mysterio. It's ridiculous. The guy is such an athletic freak. Unfortunately for Eric Rowan, I don't see him becoming a star. As a team, they're a great team together, and I don't see anything special out of Eric Rowan. It's nothing new. Everybody's basically saying the same thing. Luke Harper will be a superstar. Now, I honestly do feel, and this is being recorded on the night of Money in the Bank, I believe that Monday Night Raw, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper will win the tag team titles. I have no inside information, but it's usually how this kind of thing goes. The fact is that the Usos has held on to the tag team titles. They're a great tag team, but the truth be told, their title run has grown a little stale. So, again, this is my opinion. I would like to know what you guys think. Please leave your comment here below at OneWrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Follow Bill Apter at Apter1Wrestling. Don't forget to follow my Can-Am brother, Mr. Andre Corbeil at Andre_Corbeil, and at Can-Am Wrestling, the Can-Am Wrestling Show every Friday nights. Now we're going to move on to the WWE Divas title match. Now, this was actually a pretty decent match. It was Paige, the Divas champion, versus Naomi, who I think is an athletic freak. I think she should have won a title some time ago. Naomi is charismatic. She's beautiful. She's athletic. She's strong. There was a really bad moment in the match where I believe Paige was trying to go for a spot. It looked like a superplex off the top rope on Naomi, and she actually botched the move, her legs slipping off the turnbuckle, and they both go crashing outside of the ring onto the concrete pavement. Well, there are mats out there, but you know what I mean. It's a little old school. And, you know, Paige just doesn't seem physically strong enough. And I'm going to give credit to Andre Corbeil. He actually pointed it out to me on Twitter. Paige just doesn't have the physical strength that Naomi has. But again, Paige appears to be really over with the crowd. The crowd really loves her. It was, again, a very good match. Now, during this match, we noticed that Cameron was clearly rooting against her Funkadactyl tag team, well, Funkadactyl teammate, and Naomi, every time Paige would put Naomi in a precarious predicament, you would see Cameron actually smiling and cheering, and while Naomi was in charge, Cameron would be kind of playing with her nails, and very clear. I think a little overstated. The WWE could have did a little better job with that, but again, it is what it is. Eventually, I do see the Funkadactyl splitting up, but just so you know, the end of the match, we have Paige, who goes for the Scorpion Crosslock. Naomi tries to, she does a reverse, and she actually gets a close 2 count, but then Paige hits her with an amazing, a really well executed cradle DDT for the 1-2-3 to the delight of Cameron. So again, I actually see Cameron getting confronted by Naomi, possibly this Monday Night Raw. The fallout for a pay-per-view is always really good. It's always a relatively good Raw, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now we're going to move on. So now we have one of the most talented, not only in the ring, but on the microphone. And if you don't agree with me, please leave your comments here below, OneWrestling.com or YouTube/OneWrestlingVideo. Wrestlers on the WWE roster. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Damien Sandow, who was subjected to dressing like Paul Revere, being in Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. He is facing Adam Rose. Now, again, quickly my thoughts on Damien Sandow. Damien Sandow, technically sound. I said it before. Great, good size, good look, smart, great on the mic. What more do you need? Who did this guy upset on the WWE? I mean, backstage in the WWE. It's just frustrating to me seeing this extremely talented person. Now, you can say to me that, oh, well, it's kind of reverse psychology. They really don't have anything for him. So what they do is they put him in these silly costumes. And yes, he is over with the crowd, but that gets boring after a while. But Damien Sandow is pulling it off now. He actually had a decent match with Adam Rose, and again, I believe it was all him that made this match. Now, towards the end of the match, he misses a moonsault. Rose hits the party foul for the 1-2-3. Now, I gotta be honest with you, again, not happy with Damien Sandow not getting the push that I feel that he deserves. Again, I have no idea what happened, why they didn't continue pushing him, but it is what it is. If you have any comments, any opinions, please leave them here. Now, Jon Stewart was apparently in the crowd, so I'm just going to note that. Now we're going to jump into possibly one of the best matches of the evening, the Money in the Bank, the traditional Money in the Bank ladder match, to decide who will win the contract, get the briefcase for the WWE World Heavyweight title shot. Now, in this match, we have Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, RVD, and Kofi Kingston. Now, I've got some bad news. Unfortunately, Wade Barrett got into a shoulder, had a shoulder injury versus Jack Swagger during a match they had, and he is out of the match. And I feel so bad for Wade Barrett. This guy, again, a ton of potential. Just when it seems like he's getting ahead, something always happens, and unfortunately, he is off the pay-per-view. So, now, a couple of quick things. There was a spot during this match, and again, this match was ridiculous, but there was a spot in this match where Kofi Kingston is on top of a ladder, and the ladder is pushed over. Kofi Kingston, this is the rope, lands on the top rope, not the turnbuckle, he lands on the top rope and springboards onto the outside. Possibly one of the best Money in the Bank spots I have ever seen. Again, that's my opinion. I would like to know what your opinion is. Now, during this match, Dean Ambrose found himself running his shoulder into a ladder. Apparently his ladder came out of his socket and he was taken out of the match for a short time. Now again, this match was great. A lot of great spots. Too many to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, but this was definitely, in my opinion, possibly one of the matches of the night, if not the match of the night. Now, just as Seth Rollins seems like he is about to win this thing, and I'm just going to make a quick note again, what is up with Dolph Ziggler? Dolph Ziggler is so over with the crowd. He is another one who is talented. He is another one who is great on the mic. He is another one who has a good look, athletic. He's getting older. Do you feel like the WWE is missing the boat on Dolph Ziggler? There are a couple of times that Dolph Ziggler, it seemed like he would actually win. This is the guy that I picked. I went against the grain and I said, you know what? Maybe Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose will knock themselves out of the match. And that would give an opportunity to push someone else. Because you know what? My feeling is this. Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose at this point in juncture don't need the Money in the Bank ladder match. Or they don't need the briefcase. They can actually have a feud on their own for a month to 2 months. You can actually spread it out a month, along a 2 month span, building a storyline with them. And at the same time, giving somebody like Dolph Ziggler the opportunity to elevate his persona. But again, I'm not a professional booker, I'm not a writer for the WWE. It is what they did. So just as Seth Rollins has full control of the match, Dean Ambrose comes back. Apparently his shoulder was popped back in his socket and the crowd was ridiculously hot. They were going crazy for Dean Ambrose. And just as it looks like Dean Ambrose is going to win the ladder and the Money in the Bank ladder match, Kane's music hits. Kane comes down to the ring, gives Dean Ambrose a choke slam, and then the tombstone pile driver sets up the ladder, holds the ladder in place. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Ambrose, or I'm sorry, Seth Rollins is your Money in the Bank winner. He has the briefcase. At the end of the match, we had Triple H and Stephanie McMahon celebrating with Seth Rollins. Do you guys agree with me regarding having someone else win this match? Or do you think Seth Rollins is the right person at this point in juncture? Again, leave your comments here below. So now we have an unannounced match, or maybe it was, I didn't watch Smackdown. We had Stardust and Goldust versus Rybaxel, Ryback and Axel. Now, this match was meh. I actually tweeted, Stardust, I dig the character. I like where they're going now. Again, Curtis Axel and Ryback, and what do we call these guys? Stardust and Goldust. The Dust Brothers? Are they still the Rhodes Brothers? I don't know. But towards the end of the match, after a crossroads by Stardust, or I still call him Cody, Ryback was pinned. Axel actually comes into the ring, breaks up the pin. Axel then attempts to attack Stardust. Stardust grabs Axel, tosses him into Ryback. Ryback is hurt, rolls Ryback up for 1, 2, 3 again. This match was okay. It was nothing great. It wasn't a great match at all. So far, this pay-per-view, except for the ladder match, it's not too great. It's okay. Not too great. I'm glad I paid the $9.99 for the WWE Network. I'm not plugging it, but the fact is that I was watching it at home and I had to drive to work, and guess what? I had it on in the car on my smartphone. I was able to watch it. I didn't miss a beat, so pretty cool. Now, we have a match now on the Can-Am Wrestling show this past week with Corbeil. And actually, we also had a guest, The Big Show. You can follow Bill Schuyler. He does a segment called Back in the Day with Bill Schuyler on the Can-Am Wrestling Show. Follow him at the D-A Big Show, at The Big Show. I said that I believe this would be a flag match. Now, I don't think it was officially called a flag match, but Big E Langston, after his preacher-esque promo, and what the hell is going on with Big E? I don't know where they're going with this. I don't like, you know, the whole preacher promo thing that he's cutting. And let me tell you that this is the United States, and I am, I mean, it's ridiculous. This guy is good. Biggie Langston is good. Bad on the mic, needs a manager, but he's an athletic freak. He's strong. I have no idea what he's doing on the mic. Horrible on the mic. But again, we have Rusev versus Big E. Big E coming out with Old Glory, the American flag, and Rusev, of course, representing Mother Russia with the beautiful Lana Bachka. Anyway, so there was a huge spot in the match where we have Big E, and he basically, and he did this before, but again, showing his athleticism. We have Rusev on on the apron, and Biggie goes through the ropes and spears Rusev onto the floor. Now, as the match moves along, Lana gives the old Rusev crash. And of course, Rusev putting, and I still call it the camel clutch, but is putting the Accolade submission lock on Biggie. Biggie tries to fight out, and I thought for a brief second that Biggie might be able to get out of it, but of course, Biggie taps out. Now, interesting backstage segment. Brie Bella is backstage with Nikki Bella. Stephanie McMahon is back there. Now, Stephanie McMahon is not too all pleased that Brie is there. Now, Nikki is trying to, you know, calm things down and say, look, she's my guest, so on and so forth. And Stephanie doesn't want to hear it. Stephanie looks like she's going to get in Brie's face, but she calls security. Now, here we go. We've said this, and we've been thinking this again. If you follow my good buddy Peter Rosenberg at Rosenberg Radio, they have a great podcast, Cheap Heat. Check that out on Grantlands with David Shoemaker, aka The Masked Man, at aka The Masked Man on Twitter. Now, they were talking about that this is inevitable. It will be Brie versus the Princess Stephanie McMahon, possibly at SummerSlam. What I want to know is, what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that that would be an entertaining match? Now, Stephanie hasn't been in the ring in a long time, but Stephanie looks like she's in really, really good shape. And I can definitely see a match between those two to have Brie get her job back. I mean, what other way would there be to get Brie her job back? I think that would be a great way to book it. And again, Stephanie has built so much heat. And speaking about Stephanie McMahon, and actually let's bring this towards Vickie Guerrero, where Brie was basically showing her favorite video on her phone, which was, of course, Vickie dumping Steph in the mud. I just want to give my quick opinion on Vickie Guerrero. Vickie Guerrero, whether she was a bad girl or a good girl, or whether she, coming in as the wife of the late great, and I mean great, Eddie Guerrero, one of my favorite wrestlers, Diva, Raza. I lie, I cheat, I steal. I gotta be honest with you, man. An emotional moment. I was not at all pleased with the way that she went out. I thought Vickie Guerrero deserved better. Now you can say, oh well, Vickie Guerrero got the upper hand. But again, my good buddy Peter did state that he felt like it was awful that she goes out covered in mud or feces or whatever it was supposed to be. But you know what? Again, you know how many professional wrestlers, heels, would die for the heat that Vickie Guerrero got on a regular basis? Vickie Guerrero wasn't a trained wrestler. She wasn't a trained actress. Vickie Guerrero was somebody that WWE promised that they would take care of her. She became an on-air personality, and she was in some of the biggest storylines in WWE. And whether you liked her, whether you hated her, you have to respect Vickie Guerrero. Vickie Guerrero, I, on behalf of OneWrestling.com, wish you the best of luck. Again, Vickie Guerrero, people say you won't. I believe you will be missed. Vickie Guerrero is gone. So this again will lead into a match into SummerSlam. Again, this is again a prediction. I have no inside information, but we're gonna move on, and we're gonna have Summer Rae versus Layla. Now the special guest referee is of course Mr. Fandango. It wasn't a horrible match. I do like Summer Rae in the ring. I like her intensity. She's believable. She does have those long legs. And during this match, you could tell that Fandango seemed to be, let's just say, he didn't know which chick to pick, if that makes any sense. Now, truth be told, Fandango seemed to be torn in the beginning, but towards the end, you could see after Layla hits her with some ridiculous finishing move, Fandango gives a quick 1, 2, 3. Fandango actually gives a quick count. Layla goes over. Now, if it's my choice, I find Layla to be way more attractive physically and every other way. But again, that's my opinion. That's my taste. You guys may find Summer Rae to be more beautiful. I think you know I. But in the ring, she's excellent, and I thought it was a pretty decent match. It wasn't great. So now, so far I have this pay-per-view 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7 at the best, because that ladder match just saved the whole damn night. We're jumping into the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton versus Cesaro versus Sheamus versus Alberto versus Kane versus the favorite Roman Reigns. Triple H and Stephanie are at ringside. Basically, the match starts off with a huge brawl, and the match had a lot of amazing spots. Randy Orton was split wide open during this match when there was a spot where the ladder kind of slingshotted, hit another ladder or whatever, and came back, hit him on the top of the head. He was split wide open. He was bleeding, my friends. Really, really, really dangerous spots. Now, when you're working with ladders, guys, things can happen. There were many times where the ladders were tossed outside the ring. The wrestlers would take tumbles out of the ring onto ladders. Pretty dangerous. But this was a match where I thought anything could happen. Now, I picked Bray Wyatt to win the match. Now, during this match, there was an awesome spot where the ladder was set up. And the ladder is set up, and Cesaro kind of makes a bridge. Now, it's weird. Now, Cesaro was actually brawling with on the ladder. I forgot with other wrestler, but Roman Reigns comes to the ring and picks the ladder up. Now, the ladder ends up kind of tilting over, but landing on that made bridge, and the guys are hanging off of it like a scaffold. Awesome spot. John Cena comes back into the ring, picks up the ladder, pushes the ladder back. I mean, really, really well done. Again, this was a lot of back and forth, a lot of action. Now, after this, Roman Reigns goes nuts. He gets his moment here in Money in the Bank ladder, or in the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Roman Reigns goes spear crazy. He goes super bunch crazy. He does that beautiful flying kick onto the apron crazy. He takes everyone out. Now, there was another nice spot. I gotta bring this up. Randy Orton, Cesaro is going up the ladder. He's pulled off the ladder into midair. Randy Orton catches him, hits him with the RKO after Roman Reigns obviously being put out to pasture, put out of the match. It's clear Randy Orton proceeds to climb the ladder after Kane helps him clear the entire ring. And at that point in junction, you think, wow, Randy Orton may win this title. You can't see me. John Cena comes into the ring, hits the attitude adjustment on Kane, taking him out of the match, hits another one on Randy Orton, and for the 15th time, one away from the record of 16 set by Ric Flair, John Cena pulls down those belts and is the Money in the Bank winner. Now, I'm going to give you a quick prediction of what I think could happen, what I think should happen. Now, again, no inside information, but if I was booking this, I think eventually John Cena, people will always say, oh, he'll never turn heel, he'll never turn heel. And I brought this up thousands of times, but the fact of the matter is this: what better time to turn John Cena heel? Again, this was a good pay-per-view. It ended up being, out of maybe a 7, maybe a 6.5, I give it an 8. John Cena has the opportunity to change his persona. John Cena can be that corporate champion. He's already known as the true face of WWE. Now, when Daniel Bryan comes back, Daniel Bryan can request the title shot, and John Cena can basically tell him to go to hell. And that would be your heel turn for John Cena. Can you picture it? John Cena in the ring with his suit, surrounded by Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and maybe even Vince. Daniel Bryan making his triumphant comeback and says, what's going on? And that would also possibly spark maybe a fight between the sisters. This could all lead to a very interesting WrestleMania down the line, ladies and gentlemen. Anything is possible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I always say this every single week. I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. You can find us here every single week at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. You can follow us on Twitter at Big Ray Show, after One Wrestling, or at One Wrestling. Follow my course, my good friends Andre Corbeil at Andre Corbeil at Can-Am Wrestling. Follow The Big Show, Bill Schuyler at The Big Show. And of course, some of the Can-Am Elite, Rob Kimball. Follow him at Rob Kimball Brand. And of course, my good friend Hardy at WWE Reviews 5. Ladies and gentlemen, this was my recap, my review of WWE Money in the Bank 2014. Again, we want to hear from you. We want to know what your opinions are. I want to know what you feel about my possible predictions. Guys, it's going to be an interesting one. I hope to see you at the matches. Peace.